Good morning, everyone. Happy holidays. A couple things I want to say before we get started. First of all, just for the Rutland Council, I just wanted to express my condolences about losing Stacy Chapman. Very sad. Very fascinating, great gentleman. I've always appreciated working with him. That's very sad to hear that. For Mr. Todd, I just want to say I know it's got to be an uncomfortable situation to move to get rid of a judge and then get stuck with them. So I just want to let you know that we don't hold it against you. We understand their strategy reasons for doing that. I don't take it personally, and I don't want you to be worried about that. Right? Okay. So with that, unless there, and I have one other question. I want to just clarify because the court, the way our docketing works, the forms that are printed out for hearings still show every party that was there at the beginning of the case, and I know that we've dismissed a number of them. So can I just clarify with you, Mr. Fagan, is it just the city of Rutland, or are Post and Johnson still in the case too?
Yes, Your Honor, it's the city of Rutland, Johnson, and Post remaining defendants.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, any other preliminaries, or should we get into the argument? Floor is yours.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, the court, fellow counsel. I'd like to begin this morning, if I could, just by reviewing some procedural matters. The plaintiff has been allowed to amend his complaint to allege violation of public policy as an impermissible reason for why he was retaliated against and eventually discharged through a constructive discharge. And I found it, the Rutland Herald versus City of Rutland case, the decision that was reported at 195-85 teaches us that our Supreme Court has confirmed that conduct that Mr. Todd was complaining about for several years, which included lying on official reports, abusing canines, submitting false time records, excessive sleeping on the job, sex on the job, falsifying probable cause, using racist language, racial harassment of black citizens, and racial profiling of black citizens are, in fact, the kind of information that Vermont public policy says should be made available to the public, that it's included in the public policy because it's the public's right to scrutinize both the activities of public employees suspected of wrongdoing and the conduct of those public employees who investigate the suspects.
Can I just ask you a question? My understanding of your public policy claim, and maybe I'm wrong and you can clarify, was that you were claiming that your client was constructively terminated in violation of public policy as essentially in retaliation for his reporting to his superiors such wrongdoing by coworkers, managers, etc. Am I right about that?
Yes, Your Honor, that's one count in the complaint.
But that's the only public policy claim, isn't it?
Well, I think that the racial profile, racial harassment could rise to the level of public policy, but the law recognizes that as a distinct cause of action, so there's basically the two.
Okay, but you're talking as if the public policy is some public policy to share things with the public, but for this, and that may be true, certainly, but for this case, isn't the question whether your client was penalized for making reports about wrongdoing by coworkers or superiors?
Yes.
Okay.
And
so that's a more limited issue, right, than what you were just talking about?
well, I'm trying to address the court's prior view that it didn't see the relevance of these particular acts that we're talking about. And I understand that the court issued those rulings prior to allowing, or prior to us being advised that you had allowed the amendment. But the public policy... Right,
and I am so sorry about the late, disclosure of a couple of things in this case. It seems to stem from the fact that we're doing things by email rather than paper because